All right, I think we are actually here now, guys. Sorry for the late start. I see I have a couple people waiting. Apparently, that's all I need to do to. Apparently, being late over and over again is all I need to do to get some people waiting. Is everything working? Can you guys hear me okay? Can you see the screen? All of that stuff. How are the sound levels, etc.? You guys been waiting for like an hour and now nobody's chatting, unless it's my chat's problem. Yoo-hoo! Anybody there? Hi, Jacob. Loud and clear. Okay, somebody's here. So sorry for the late start. This was a great case of just, well, it was a combination of just general kind of machine shop owner busyness plus things going wrong. So I'm running that big production job right now, the 2,000 pieces. And hey, JB. And so I'm running that big job. I'm going to keep running it while I'm doing this live stream. I wouldn't stop production on that just to do a live stream. But to do that, I needed to have material stocked up, like pre-cut, ready to go. I'm getting this material in bars. I'm cutting it down. And I can I can do cut probably 4 or 5 times faster than the program runs. And so I just needed to build up a little stockpile. And I started cutting, and then I think what happened is the tension. No, I think the band, the belt, the drive belt on my saw, I think it just had kind of gotten loose over time. And going through all of this cutting this morning, it kind of heated up and it got looser. And then the saw hit, like a snag, and it burnt out the belt. So then I had to replace the belt. And then I cut a couple more. And then I walked away from the saw and I came back, and the saw had like overheated and blown the thermal protection fuse on the motor, or the thermal reset. And I was like, oh, that's strange. I just kind of reset it and I started running. And then one cut after that, it finished that cut. And then on the next cut, the belt broke on the saw. And I was like, oh, okay. This probably caused the snag in the thermal protection. So then I had to replace the belt on the saw. And then I got that running again. And then I had to order more material at Alro. But because my bank is weird about fraud, I always have to call them before I place an order for Alro, because it like gets charged in another city. And so they always mark it as fraud. So I have to like anyway, so I had to call my bank, and then that led to me calling someone else at the bank to fix like a credit limit issue. And so all of this took like an hour. And guess what I wasn't doing during this hour? Cutting more material. So then I had to try and stock up on more material again. And in the course of stocking up on the material, I broke a tool on the Tormach. And of course, it is the one tool that I didn't have a direct replacement for. And so I had to go find an indirect replacement. What happened is it was my the 1/2-inch end mill that I'm using for the majority of the roughing. I ordered more of them, but I ordered more of them on Sunday, so they're not going to get here until tomorrow. So I have like 5 coming in tomorrow, but of course they're not here today. But what I was able to do is I had a 3-flute that's like an aluminum end mill that I had retired because it was leaving bad finishes. But that is perfectly fine for roughing on these parts. It'll die pretty soon, but if it can limp along until tomorrow, I'll be okay. I still have the finisher. The finisher still like pristine. So as long as the rougher removes like most of the material, the finisher can remove the rest of it. Since we're doing a computer stream this time, I'll have chat right here. This will be way more convenient and easier than what I was trying to do before with like the cell phone in there. Audio should be a lot better. Video should be fine. I know my green screen's a little bit wonky. That's a lighting issue more than anything, but at very least I am largely out of your way and down here in the corner so you can see majority fusion. I will have to occasionally run away for a couple minutes and start some more parts. And this is going to end when I run out of material to feed the mill, because I only have so much sawn, and I also still have to go pick up more material at Alro. So update from last stream. I know that last stream was incohesive, might be the kindest way to put it, because I was like double multitasking, and then my dad showed up, and my dad doesn't like to be on camera, and I was already like overly multitasking. So it just was wild and a nightmare. And I know that it was not the best stream I've ever done. So hopefully today will be a little bit better and a little bit more cohesive. But big job. So my system from yesterday just did not work. I tried and I tried, but I think I was asking too much out of those little Chinese soft jaw vices, which someone pointed out on the stream. They're like, oh, those, are you sure you're going to get enough clamping force with those? And the answer was no. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just running the op ones, and I'm just cranking through those as fast as I can. I was able to get some time out of those. So it's like, Fusion says it's like 12 minutes for 4, but in reality, it's like 15 minutes for 4, plus maybe 30 seconds or a minute of changeover time. And I've just been running that machine. I also had another issue where I have cheap, crappy sockets. I still have Harbor Freight sockets from like 10 years ago. And I keep telling myself I'm going to buy a nicer set of sockets, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. But anyway, my 10 millimeter socket that I used to tighten the Chinese vices, that socket was dying on me. It was bulging out on the end to the point where it wasn't working anymore. And I'm still using the Chinese vices for op 1 work holding. So I'm not using the soft jaw ones for op 2, but the ones with the serrated jaws are fine for op 1. So I have 4 parts right now running on my machine, 2 in my standard 6-inch vise, and then 2, 1 each in 2 of those different Chinese vices. And that's working great. That's fine. But the 10 millimeter socket was dying on me, and it was slowly bulging out. And that's the one I have on my torque wrench. And then also everything that I have to hold chips is all full. And so I sent my wife out to go buy some like plastic bins that I could put chips in and get me a couple 10 millimeter sockets. And then of course, because it's a 10 millimeter socket, she got to the hardware store and they didn't have any. So she had to then go to another store, which kind of set her back. And now my machine is just absolutely full of chips. I think there's probably at least 1.5 feet of chips all the way across the bottom, because I haven't been able to empty that thing since middle of the day yesterday. So I'll need to do some major chip removal today. Yep, Murphy's Law, Frogtown. That's a good way of describing today. And plus, it just there's always a lot of stuff to do in a shop, and it doesn't help when you have this you need to man the saw and the machine at the same time. It kind of puts an uncomfortable rhythm to whatever you're doing. Like any task has to take less than 10 minutes or get interrupted, as we will see today. So I think with the new end mill, it sounds good out there. I think that increased my cycle time by, a minute or 2. So maybe every 15 minutes now. I guess it was 15 minutes. So 16 minutes now. Anyway, so we're going to do some fusion stuff today. We'll see how much we get through. Plan A was to do my fusion tool libraries to kind of neatify them and modernize them a little bit. But I also have a modeling project that I want to work on that you guys might actually be interested in. And I want to start with the modeling project because I want to 3D print it as soon as I can. And we can kind of do some prototyping right here on stream. And then we can switch back and forth between the tool libraries and the modeling stuff. So this model that's up right here, you guys might actually be interested in this. This is what I'm using when I'm cutting material. So I made this little hooky thing here, and this is for setting the length of the material when I use my saw. So basically, I just hook the material right here on this end, and then I push this big flat end up against the blade of my saw, and then it's good to cut. And that gives me, the length of stock that I'm using for this big job. And then once the stock falls off of the saw, I have this little bin here. And if we look at the length here, so this is 1.85. This is 1.95. And of course, our cut length is 1.9. So this gives us a go, no-go gauge for the material coming off the saw. So I can very quickly set it with this 1.9 inch measuring device. And then I can make sure that the actual cut went well by sticking it in here. Because if it's too big, I might break an end mill. If it's too small, I'll scrap a part and just be wasting machine time. So in that same vein, today we are going to design a go, no-go gauge pin holder. That's easy to say. Let me show you. Pause 1 second. So on this big production job, there are a few parts that I need to check with gauge pins. And I don't really care what the actual dimension is. I just care that it's in spec. And so what I have done is I have taped a go and a no-go a go gauge pin and a no-go gauge pin together. So like I think this one is 0.122 and this one is 0.124. And if the hole is in that range, as long as the go goes, the no goes, then the part is in spec. This one is for, I believe, actually a slot, and it's the same deal. One side is the bottom of the range, one side is the top of the range, and I even have a really big one here. So I check those. I check at least one part every single time with those gauge pins, and then there is a couple dimensions that I just caliper. And between those, I basically hit all of the tools. And if you check at least one dimension for all of the tools and like the process is already proven, then you can be pretty confident that you're making good parts. So, but this taping things together, I am not a big fan of. It works, but I don't like residue on my gauge pins. It's also ugly and maybe not necessarily clear. So what I want to do right now is design a parametric gauge pin holder. And I've been kind of noodling on this for a couple days. So I don't think it'll be that difficult. And I don't know how much parametric modeling you guys do or how interesting this is to you. But remember, live streams are a way for me to be entertained while I do chores. So we're going to do some machine shop chores today, and you guys can keep me company. Though I can definitely tell streaming in the middle of the day, not nearly as many people, but hopefully it'll be a good VOD. So I'm going to call this go. So go hole equals, and I'll start with 0.125. And then I'm just going to come over here and type no go hole equals, I don't know, 0.13. These could be any dimensions. And we'll dimension this here. I think I'm just going to leave this as a fixed dimension. Maybe I'll make it parametric. How do we want to do this? We'll do it this way. I'll draw a line between the two circles and then put a point at the midpoint of the line and then coincidence that to the origin. So now this will always stay centered no matter how long that line is. And I'm going to make a new dimension here. We'll call this center distance equals 2. Okay. So now those pins will always be 2 inches away, which should be way more than enough for basically any reasonable size gauge pin. Maybe we could even go to 1. Because if you had 2 half-inch pins, then your center distance would be if 2 half-inch pins, then they would be half an inch away from each other. So I think that's fine. Yes, James, I did see your PM. I did not read it, but I saw that it was there. I will take a look at that later. Like I said, I've kind of been running in circles all day. Hi, JB. Perfect time for it. It's 7:30 over there, and you're doing kind of the same. Sounds good. Wait, JB Customs, are you the same as JB Pipes and Muffler? I always assumed you were the same account, and I was confused as to why you had two memberships. Is the mill quiet? Maybe I should pull up my webcam. Ooh, can I show that on the stream? Hold on, let me see if I can do that. Hopefully this doesn't dox me. Can I go to Wise and pull up the webcam? I'm going to do this off screen. No doxing. How is... Oh, there we go. Okay. Wait, no. How is Wise not in my LastPass? It is. Okay. It's just confused. So if this works, we should be able to actually watch, sort of, the machine at the same time. Though I don't know if it has to be in the app or not. I remember live streaming not working like I hoped it would. Oh no, the mill is definitely done now. I do. I'm sorry, I still don't know how to say your name, but Oishishikana. I actually have. We're doing this on OBS right now, but yes, I don't have it set up with the like wireless cameras. Or well, I guess they even could be wired, but I don't have it set up out there by the machine. What is my two-factor code? I rate that one a 1 out of 10. Okay, we're logging into Wise. I think I can probably show you this again. Is there a way I can see my cameras? No, I don't want to buy a camera. I'm starting to think we can't do this, guys. I don't think this is going to work. Wise View Camera Online. Wise Web View. That's not what I meant. Aha! This might actually work. You can... Oh! I didn't know you could plug Wise in. The camera's aiming the wrong way. Hey, look, you can see the Haas too. You can see the mountains of chips built up. All right, I'm gonna leave this here, and I will be right back. Oisha can kind of, if you can tell me how to pronounce your name, that would be great. And then also, if you can give me the words to Google, I'll get that figured out, because that would be great. Yeah, the cat cam is no longer being used for a cat. But 1 second, let me go change parts. I'll be back. I'll re-aim my camera. All right, did that work? RTSP. Okay, I will look into that. I wonder. All right, how do we put this to be the most convenient? We can. Yeah. Okay. Look at that. We'll put that in the corner. There's custom firmware required. I think at that point I'd rather just buy. Oh no, can I make Chrome stay on top? Come back. Dang it. Um, hold on. I can probably do that with Opera. We'll get this, guys. We'll stream the. Oh no, I've closed all my windows. Nope. Where are you guys? There you are. A browser source for OBS. Cool. Let me. Why does LastPass not? Oh no. I know what's going on. This is fine. Where did Fusion go? Come back, Fusion. This wouldn't be a stream if there weren't some technical difficulties. Nope, we gotta do two-factor authentication again. Hold on. Add the URL as a browser source. Fine. Here, where's my OBS setup? You guys can infinity mirror. Sources. I've never done a browser source. Browser. I've lost that. Apparently, I closed the Wise webcam. This got derailed really fast. Which is probably not great considering I'm time crunched. All right, create new, Wise. Okay. You are nope. Why did you not copy that? Control C, Control V. Okay. Oh my gosh, that did. Yeah, sure. How do I log in now? Oh, hold on. I lost chat. Let me pull the chat back up. How do we interact? Oh. All right. Now I bet we get to two-factor authentication again. Can you guys see that? It would just move you over here. Username. Nope, I lost the window. Nope. Come back. Where did the window go? There it is. Oh, yeah, I could just do that. It's fine. Whatever. Why is it black on black? Whose idea was this? All right, now we two-factor again. No, there's the wrong code for you. Yeah, OBS is kind of a thing. Hey, this is promising. Hey, look at that. We can see the coolant. We can make that full screen. Does cropping it here do anything? No. But I can close this now, right? And can I shrink that? Can I crop you? Maybe I don't care. Maybe it's fine. Okay. That kind of works. And now, yeah, look at that. We can tell if I'll optimize that later. I also need to re-angle my camera. I think I stepped on the cord as I moved, but wow. Are you guys getting the audio from that? Is the audio coming through? Because you probably don't want the audio. It also sounds like super tinny. I don't know how you're getting the audio, actually. You must just be hearing it through my mic, maybe? Oh, it's coming out of my own computer. Probably because I had it up. Okay. I think we're good now. I think that's as good as we're going to get. So, all right, we're parametric modeling these. If I open up the parameters menu, we have our go hole, no go hole, and center distance. I think I'm just going to connect them with an obround. And will the no-go always be bigger than the go? I think it will be. So I can do no-go. Oh. This can be no-go hole plus. I need the burp, sorry. That can be no-go hole plus an eighth, maybe? Does that make sense? That should be... Yeah, okay, let's try some combinations. So let's say you have a 0.45 go and a 0.46 no-go. Yeah, that still works. Now, okay, so this is kind of the parametric base of my little holder here. What if we tried 0.25 with the 0.46? Yeah, that seems to work. The only thing that could happen where we could have issues is I bet if we do the no-go is smaller. It's working for now, but eventually this could end up smaller than the hole. So let's just set the no-go back to 255. There we go. And now we can extrude this out. This could just be thickness. I don't think that needs to be a specific number. Maybe 0.75 inches. Like, we don't need to make that tied to the pins. So this will be kind of the foundation, but I want a way to kind of secure the pins in there. And I've been thinking about how to do that. And I think the way is just to like make it a tight fit and then kind of have some like spring loadedness on this. 0.4 millimeters maybe. And we'll get those lined up. And I'm going to put a center point on each of the sides here. And make those horizontal with the origin. That's funny. They line themselves up. Actually, I could have just done this. I'm just going to coincidence them to the center of that hole. Okay, there we go. And this doesn't really need to be anything specific. It just needs to be long. So I guess we could do it off the diameter. So no-go hole, I don't know, times 2. No, actually, that could cause issues. Let's just make it like 2 inches. The sketch will look ugly, but there's you'll never have a 2-inch pin in here. And I guess I should have made this parametric. So let's call this slot with equals to 0.4 millimeters. I'm doing 0.4 millimeters because that's the nozzle width on most 3D printers. I don't think it matters here because I'm in negative space. But that was my logic behind it. It's probably actually too small. And we'll extrude this as a cut through symmetric through all. Okay. So that just cut everything no matter what. And then I was thinking that we could, like, to make sure that your pins don't fall out, I was going to have a place where you could wrap a zip tie around this. And now I need to figure out how to model that. We could put a plane. We could put a plane in the middle. Oop. Come on. Put a plane in the middle. Put a sketch on that. Slice, project in our outside. And offset this maybe. How much? How thick is a zip tie? How big is a zip tie? Where's the zip tie? I don't have any zip ties on hand. I don't know, 0.2. I guess it doesn't actually have to fit the whole zip tie. It just needs to... I don't like doing it this way. It doesn't actually need to fit the whole zip tie. It just needs to kind of keep it from sliding around. We'll do this as a... Oop, that was the wrong kind of slot. We'll do this as a slot, center to center. And I'll just put a dimension here. Zip depth equals to 0.2. No, not 0.2, 0.02. Okay, so that should give us that, which I can now go ahead and do one more of those slots. And this time I'm just going to line it up with the outside. Instead of wrapping the zip tie all the way around, drill 2 holes and put a zip tie on each side. It's not a bad idea. Let's do a test, Austin, on this one. The reason I'm hesitant to drill a hole is only because I don't want this to be determined. Like I want any zip tie to be able to work on it. And so I'm going to leave like a really, really big room here. But you are right, where that would hold a lot better. Yeah, that should be more than enough. So zip. But yeah, you're not wrong. All right. Nope. I'm struggling with typing here. 0.15. Because if the zip tie is 1/8 of an inch, that should be fine. If I drill 2 holes, it'll compress. If I wrap it all the way around, it'll oblong the hole. Well, that's kind of the point. Because I want it to grab the gauge pins. So I don't really care if it's like compressing it as a circle or if it's just moving these sides in. That's fine with me. Jacob, yes, we're going to 3D print these. So the theory, if this works out, it will pull the outside. You're not wrong. I absolutely agree with you. What if we do both? Because like I do, like not that button. You're not wrong. I guess I'm just lazy is the answer. But how are we going to do this one? Let's try. We could do one big hole in the middle. Let's just try this first. We'll try this first. This will 3D print in like 12 minutes. But the idea here, guys, if this wasn't clear, is, and I'm sure I'll share this model. I'll just call this YouTube gauge pin holder. I'll share this model, but the idea is you can just open up the parameter menu, type in a size for a go pin and a no go pin, and then it'll just spit out the whatever gauge pin holder that you need. I am going to turn off some of these as favorites. They'll be there, but not as visible. All right, let's do a test print. Z, that's also not a bad idea. Austin, you can absolutely steal this, or I'll put the files up on printables later. So, and actually, in fact, even in the chat, I will be able to give you this link right here, and then anybody with the link can download it. Theo, we are making a parametric holder for gauge pins so that you can set up a go and a no-go pair instead of taping them together like I've done here. So we're trying to replace this janky setup with like a real holder. The other thing was, do we want to emboss anything on here for like go, no go? Yeah, I guess we do. Though that does mean I have to remember which side was go. So this side was go. Let's just make go really small. Now we can visually see a difference. So I think if I just do text is probably the easiest way. So go. We can make that smaller. How are we going to place this text, though? Maybe I just don't worry about that too much. Is it possible to do parametric text? I don't think they have added that yet. You have to use an extension. We can, at very least, constrain the text itself. I'm trying to remember if there was any tricks. Yeah, we center it, I believe, and you give it dimensions. And we can do a dimension here to there. And what did we call the length? Width? Center. Spacing? I have no idea what I call that dimension. And of course I hit it down here now. Maybe I should not have hidden those dimensions or unfavored them. Center distance. Okay, let's bring that back as a favorite. Slot width. I regret doing that. Okay, so center distance divided by 2. Almost. Divided by 4. Sure. And I think we want to turn around. JB, I'm going to set this up so that it can be done with 2-color printing. Not that I actually have a print. Oh, my machine's done. I'm going to set it up for 2-color printing for anybody else who wants to do 2-color printing. I can't actually do 2-color printing, but I do want to make this model so that it's useful to other people. Is doing these upside down of each other a bad idea? It seems like it should be fine. I'm just going to call this one no. Go and no. Or is that too close to each other where they could get mixed up? First prototype. We can tune it later. All right, I'm going to go change parts. I'll try to re-aim the camera better this time. I need my pins. Oh, that was a Kleenex. You don't need to see that. I need my pins. Okay, we're back. Dual color printing gets weird sometimes on small text. Also, painting and prune a slicer also works the modeling separates. Freaky Climber, you think I should do no-go? What if I just did a big X? But yeah, I don't have a lot of color experience dual color printing. I figured that my next printer might have that though. So that's where my logic of doing it as dual color came from. Ooh. You should be horizontal. I guess we also need to set this offset here, which that I'm just going to do a straight dimension. Your printer is slow, and it would be nice to have these printed on hand, but you don't know how you'd go about figuring out the flexure properties to make sure it covers normal ranges. I mean, you can do a Fusion FEA if you really want to, but I mean, I don't know. Like, I'll do a couple tests, and if it works, then you can do it. If it doesn't, then not. I just have a Prusa Mini right now. Nothing particularly fancy. Where did my extrude go? Stop selecting that. I stopped selecting that. I do plan on upgrading to a bamboo at some point here. I was waiting for the Prusa 1 to come out. I don't know how big to make this. I was waiting for the Prusa 1 to come out so that I could kind of see if that was worth doing over the bamboo. But I just couldn't justify the cost difference. I like Prusa a lot better than I like bamboo. Like just the companies themselves, but it's really hard to justify. Like it was like a $1,500, well, not $1,500, it was like a $500 price difference or something. You're on an under 3. I like my Prusa Mini. One of the reasons, why is it so dark? One of the reasons I really like Prusa is, they don't have to be supporting this printer as well as they're supporting it. But like when input shaping became a thing, they just published an update And immediately, my printer became like twice as fast. And they didn't need to do that, but they did. And I appreciate that. And like, I believe Prusa will be around for a very long time, where Bamboo, I don't know, they seem to make good printers and they'll hopefully be around. But all right, so this should be our thingy here. We have several bodies here, but we just need to export this one as a mesh. I should do this with actual gauge pin sizes so I can test it. I know I have one that's 0.122, and this is 0.124. Or no, it's actually 0.125. Because 0.124 would still be passing. Okay. And that seems to have parametrically updated itself for us. And we can always try tweaking these hole sizes. We may need to like add a tolerance. I thought about that, Austin. You totally could. I wouldn't be able to easily print it on my single color printer. You could do that by just adding a like a layer line right here. Actually, fine. Do you know what? Well, no, I don't want to do it right now. I can make another version where I do split this in half, but you could just do it based on height in Prusa slicer and just change filaments halfway through. That would be fine. All right, so I assume that I actually exported that. Here's the core one. I really want a core one, but it's don't send stuff, please. All right. Did I not actually export it? Did I get distracted first? Save as mesh. 3MF. Gauge. Okay. And all right, hold on. I just thought of a improvement. Come back, Fusion. To avoid overhangs, let's just do chamfers on this. Zip depth. Okay. That way there's no overhangs. And we might as well just go ahead and do some fillets. Actually, this is probably a good reason for chamfers. A good place for chamfers. On things that people touch, I like to do chamfers. Hey, Urban, how you doing? Oh, make it as 2 parts and do super glue. You're running 3 of the QD printers, and for the price, they are awesome and feature rich. How do those compare to like the Bamboo Labs? Are they in the same class? I know everybody is starting to catch up to Bamboo Labs after they like have their little runaway moment. I'm not opposed to a different brand. So do that. And do we want to fillet these maybe? Use magnets. I don't want to use magnets around the ferrous parts. It would also magnetize your gauge pins, which might be annoying. But dude, I'll share the source files with you. Actually, I already did if you scroll up and find that link. I think whenever I hit save, a new version will be available. So feel free. So just put in these fillets here. This will kind of help the printer go around the corners more smoothly. I think just kind of give you a generally better print. All right. So now let's for realsies export this. Gauge. And do a quick little slice. We can orient that. I mean, that should work. I don't see anything weird about that. What are we at slice time or print time wise? 20 minutes. What if I go to my 0.3? 14 minutes. Perfect. Let me get this print started. My printer's right here on my desk next to me. I always keep these little alcohol wipes on hand to clean the print bed of my printer. You'd be shocked at how much of a reliability difference it makes. Now I need to export this. And plug her in and hit print. All right, in 20 minutes, we will have, 14 minutes supposedly, we'll have our first prototype that we can test out. The text will probably be a little bit funky, but it should still be readable. And I'll go find a zip tie. Okay, yeah, I've seen Close videos or however you pronounce his name. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, and Austin, feel free to do whatever you want to this design. You can consider it open source. This will let you download the most recent version. I'll eventually get it up on printables. But feel free. You would rotate the slot 90 degrees to get more force out of the zip ties. I see what you're saying. That would kind of solve our problem. Yeah, so Austin and I were talking about doing a circle through there, but you're right. That would help. That would solve our problem. It would also give this arm of the flexure a little bit more room. Let's see if we can change that quick. Yeah, you're right, Frogtown. So how did I constrain these? Let's see if we just get rid of the horizontal and vertical constraints. So Frogtown. Is Frogtown like a nickname for a city? Or like, the Windy City is Chicago? Or is that just, I don't know, something else? A nickname for your shop or something? I'm curious about that name. But you're right. I think that's a better solution for, don't mind me as I just reconstrain this entire. There we go. And we got to do the same on this one. It's going to break all of our fillets and chamfers. I could have sworn this already inherently had these perpendicular constraints. Aha, okay. Now we can make you vertical. Please. Make you vertical. Make you vertical. Hey, look at that. It even mostly survived except for, looks like we lost a couple chamfers. You're fine. And our couple fillets. Oh, my slot disappeared. Let's get our slot back. Was that this extrude? No. Was that this extrude? That definitely got funky. Where'd that sketch go? Nope, not that sketch. It's a Northwest Ohio nickname. Okay, I did not know that. Like the northwest of Ohio is called Frogtown. Like that's the name. I don't know. Or is it like one city specifically in Northwest Ohio? There we go. That's why our chamfer was mad earlier. Let's get that back. Okay. And now, who's mad fillet wise? I guess we can do that. Sure. Okay. Well, the first version isn't printed, and we already have a better version. I wish there was some way that we could like hide the head of the zip tie, but I'm not really sure how to do that. But I like this. I think this is a good idea. I think that'll work. So I think we kind of combined what Austin and Frogtown were saying. If you move the zip tie clamp to just be to just holes wrapping around you could, yeah. Interesting. So eliminate overhang and remove. Oh, so you're saying that if we did some holes here, we would get rid of this overhang. But and Oishis Kana, you still haven't told me how to pronounce your name, and I'm still butchering it. All right. Well, I believe we have tackled the first goal for today. Let's do a quick test here. Let's see what happens if we go to 0.5 and 0.51. Are we going to break anything? No, it appears not. Okay. I will eventually get this on printables, but if you guys want it, there's the link right there. So I'm liking this. And again, I'll upload a version that has these with it, and I'll have a version that has it separate so that people with multicolor printers can multicolor printer it. All right. Now we need to figure out my tool library. Let's go look at the current state. I guess we can do it right here in this model. So basically my problems came about when I added the new machine. And I never quite had everything sorted out on the Haas. But because there's only one machine, they weren't really a big issue to work with. So I have right now an archive, and inside here is just kind of a bunch of random tools. I do actually use like the specialty tools and the common tools. These are basically like if I ever need a weird tool that it's not one I'm going to ever stock or whatever, I stick those into there. And then I have I called them swing tools here. That is actually wrong. These should have been listed as core tools. So I have my core tools here. And yeah, I somehow managed to name this library correctly, but none of the other ones. Use text for size. I would do that if it was parametric. I don't think text can get pulled from a parameter. You can do it with an API plugin, but at least at one point you couldn't. Maybe they've added that. But there is, I believe, like a parametric text plugin. Yeah, because how would you even do it? Because I can't even like type in the parameter name. Yeah, I don't think you can. I think you can do it in the height, but I don't think you can do parametric text without that plugin. Wow, I can add all kinds of units. So there is a plugin to do it, but I don't know. We can try it if you think. Yeah, it's just gonna. I think you have to use the plugin. I've done it before, and it's not bad. But you just have to. Do I even have it installed here? No. I don't remember exactly how it works, but you have to download it and install it, and then it does the thing. But yes, enough people have run into this problem that people have found a solution. You can make the box, the dimension of the parameter, and then measure the box. Yeah. Is it possible to project a dimension to surface? If you're trying to get the text of the dimension onto a surface, no. because they're not considered geometry at all. If you could probably do it with some really wild logic, like with if thens and greater thens, because you can do that in parameters. So you could have, we know the dimension already of the pins. So you could do like, if first digit is, 1, then show that, or then show this body. If digit is 2, show this body. It would be a nightmare and a mess. That's definitely not worth it. I would recommend taking a Sharpie to it if you really need to put the dimensions on it. But for my, also the gauge pins will have the dimensions written on them. But for my purposes, this will do what I want. All right, tool library. Don't let me get distracted. So right now, these are my tool libraries. You may notice that all of them are tool 990 or tool 99. That was because I never that's because I never really got to the point of where I was assigning dedicated tool numbers, and the mill's done. And on the Haas, designating something tool 99, the highest tool pocket, the highest tool number you could put on the Haas was tool 20, so it would throw an error. So these are basically filler tool numbers that would intentionally cause an error if I accidentally forgot to change them. The problem is one, that's annoying and hard to identify tools. Number two, on the Tormach, that's the number of the probe. So if you program a tool path with tool number 99, it tries to, bore with your probe, which is not what we want. So we're going to come up with a whole tool number system here and then start implementing it. But first I need to go change parts. So BRB. All right, guys, I have bad news. There's only 4 more blocks of material left, which means after this cycle, I think I have to be done. So, all right, this is where I'm at. I don't like how I have it set up now. I do have all of the presets done for the most part. Some of them have not been updated for the new machine, so I'll have to do that. but having all of these is very handy here. And you can see some of these I did manually. Some of these I used pre-tool for, but we can go ahead and expand that a little bit here. So let's come up with a game plan. Wow, what is that? Oh, that was the log from the Tormach. Let me just close everything that I have open here. No, okay. I've closed too many things. All right, so we need to figure out what are the things we need to capture in tool numbers. Theo, yeah, I like my office mill. It needs a new spindle. The one I have is like the machine I have is awfully beat up, but it works fine. Other than the spindle slightly dying on me, I would be happy with another office mill or compact mill. You kind of have to understand the limitations. It is like not a machine you buy for hogging out material, but it works. It's great for small precision stuff. So, all right, we need. Oh, you guys are going to learn how bad I am at spelling. I actually don't want to do this in Notepad. I changed my mind. Let's do this in not Word. All right, so we need to capture the material, the tool style. Do we care about tool style, like flat versus ball? Maybe just tool type in general. I think material. And also, do we care about rougher and finisher? I'm coming up with the system on the fly here, so we'll start implementing it hopefully. But so basically for material, ferrous, non-ferrous. Actually, it's really soft and hard, but we'll leave it like that. Tool type. Let's see. We have flat, ball, chamfer, drills. Thread mills, drills, and taps. We'll keep those in the same category. Thread mills. What else do we have? I guess Kisi and general. Ooh, our print's done. Give me a second. Let's just call these other / special. Do we care about designating roughers versus finishers? I don't think we do. In terms of coding, so okay, I don't think I face mill. I don't think that I have said this yet. Actually, we'll just call this inserted. Right now, I'm trying to figure out the tool numbering system. And like, I want it to kind of make sense so that you can look at the tool number and kind of get an idea of what it is. It doesn't need to be super specific. Like, I don't care if you can look at it and figure out the diameter. I think things will get too crazy for that. But I do want it to have at least some like organizational purpose. So in terms of coding, I don't think I need a separate code for each coding. But like, you know, some coatings are for aluminum and some coatings are for steel or titanium or whatever. And so I think the coating will get wrapped up into ferrous or non-ferrous. Same thing with number of flutes. So I have 999, well, almost 999. So tool 99, that's the probe. Tool 998, I think it is, or 999 is the master tool, like the tool length calibration thingy. Or maybe, no, that's actually tool 1000. Tool 1000 is the calibration tool. Tool 0 is the spindle naked spindle. So I can't use those ones. I'm just spitballing ideas down here. So the Haas only 1 through 20. The Haas probe is tool 20. So, and then, there's actually one more category we need to add up here. And maybe this even takes priority. I'm not sure. But we have core tools. Well, we'll call this status. We have core tools, swing tools, and specialty. We need to go go do spelling corrections. So what I call a core tool is a tool that lives in the ATC. A swing tool is a tool that I inventory. Like, it's something that I maintain a stock of, but it's not necessarily in it's not necessarily in the ATC. It may be set up in a tool holder, it may not. And then specialty tools are just other stuff that I may have, I may not have. They're in the tool library, but who knows if I'm going to have them on hand or not. So the core tools on the Haas, the Haas core tools have to be 1 through 20. So Haas core tools T1 through 20. The Tormach core tools can then be T21 through, well, however many I have. It has less spots. Oh, and actually I don't need 20 core tools in the Haas because I need spots for swing tools. So how about 1 through 16 on the Haas? Actually, I think I had 14 core tools. 15. 1 through 15 can be core tools on the Haas. So then on the Tormach, we'll do 20 through 35. Okay. And those we don't care about designating, getting any more specific with, what they're for, because those live in the machine all the time. Okay. I'll eventually just have those numbers memorized. So then maybe we start at tool 100 for, sorry, so these are swing, swing tools. Jacob, yeah, I'll keep this somewhere. I have a Google Doc and stuff that I use. I used to have a wiki, not that I use for business stuff, that I use for personal stuff, and that would be handy to bring back. So what if my phone's ringing? 1 second here. Hello? Okay, thank you. I'll be in a bit. Bye. Lunch is ready. Okay, so that leaves this like 35 through 100 space, because we could call how many swing tools am I going to have? I don't think I want to, because we could say like tool 40 through probably 99, which I guess would be the probe, 98. We could say those are swing tools. And again, just not give those a specific number. Or we could just say like tools 100 through 500 is, ferrous, and T 501 through 900 is non. And then I could just like put is it a swing tool or if it's a swing tool, I could specify that in the name and just assume if it doesn't have swing or core in the name that it's a specialty tool. We could also do like the 100s, 300s, 500s, etc. are ferrous. So basically the odds, if the first number of is an odd, then it's ferrous. And then if it's an even, it's non-ferrous. Or we could start doing blocks for flat inserted ball chamfer. I don't know. I think that's getting too specific, though. I don't actually know if I want to go that granular on these numbers. I think as long as I have separate libraries for core versus swing versus specialty, I think that's enough. Maybe we could separate out the flat, like the common ones versus the less common ones. Like we could give a flat a chunk. There, I feel like I'm boring you guys because there's been zero chatting. Or you guys aren't following this at all. We don't want to overcomplicate things. That's for sure. I think going odds and evens overcomplicates it. So if we do 100 to 500 ferrous, T 501, actually we probably want this 499. 499 ferrous, T 500 through, let's do 899 can be non-ferrous. And again, really, I just mean hard materials and soft materials. Is that the same number? That's 399. That is 399. Okay. And that saves the 900s for random tools. And there's some, and from tool 35 to tool 98 is also open. So maybe we start there. Okay. Let me think about that for a second. I'm just going to save this to my desktop momentarily. Why can I not find my desktop? Hello? Do I have a desktop? Wow, this is embarrassing. Where's my desktop? Do you know what? Let's put it in my Google Drive. Not that Google Drive. That Google Drive. This Google Drive. Okay. We'll put it here. And yeah, I'll do something to document this better in the future. Our thingy's done, which I think I left my gauge pins out there. So 1 second, please. pull my gauge pins off of their tape. I can probably go to big camera for this. I think that's something I have set up. Whoa. I'm still green screened. There we go. Hey, people who know OBS, is there a way to link filters to different scenes? Because like I don't want this scene to be green screened, but I want the other screen to be green screened. And I don't want to have to turn on and off my filters every time. There's got to be a way to link those, right? This tape is awfully stuck. I have side cuts. I don't. Oh, do I have a knife in my pocket? Hey, look at that. I have a knife in my pocket. I have a cut on my flipper finger. Well, I wonder if there's like a configuration option. I could duplicate my input sources. That's not a bad idea. It would be nice if filters were per stream or per scene, but you just saw that I changed scenes and it was still there. So unless there's like a toggle in the options or something that I need to set. But if I can duplicate my input sources, that would solve it. All right, so this was the go. This was the no-go. This was the no-go. Inserting. It's definitely a little tight. I guess I should have, or I could have added some allowance since we're having the clampy. It's tight, but it's going. I mean, actually, you could just leave it here and have like no zip tie and it would be fine. Yeah, it's a wee bit tight. So maybe a press fit is just good enough. You wouldn't want to do this with a teeny tiny gauge pin, though. Sorry, I'm doing this all off camera, but I'm pressing it in against my desk. I don't know if it being this tight is a win or not. I guess if I'm having to hammer it in, it's probably not a good thing. But okay. Well, I mean, there's a go, no go, and I have a zip tie here. If I'm using the zip tie, then having it that tight is probably a bad thing. So I'll go back in and I'll add some allowance, which I'll probably do as another parameter. I also totally put my pins in the wrong side. But there we go. That's the thing. So is it perfect yet? No, but we already have the next revision. And ZK, I know what you're talking about with doing some lobes in there. I don't remember his name, not Tom Stanton, but the other Tom just did a video about using the threaded fasteners. I think you mean kind of the same thing. And my machine is done. And so I think I need to go man the saw. I guess we'll get back to the tool offsets and tool libraries later. This was actually kind of the big project for today, I guess. I'll start printing other ones, but I think this will work. It would be nice if it was multicolor. It definitely feels a little bit wider than it needs to be on some of these smaller pins. But if you guys just want to, change the design, go for it. It's linked there in the chat. I think I can give it to you one more time. And yeah, there we go. Download it. Consider it public domain. I'll get it up on printables eventually here. And then you can also get it from printables. But I'll do a couple more iterations. We already have the next iteration done, which I think will be an improvement over this one. I'll add some allowance, and I think we should be good to go. So thank you guys for watching. This was a much smaller stream than normal in terms of people coming to visit, but hopefully it'll pick up some views afterwards. I suppose I should probably do some sort of plug. Otherwise, why do streaming? I guess. Who do I have to plug? You can become a channel member if you want. As far as I know, it gets you nothing, but it's there. Ooh, I want to do an experiment. There's supposedly some way I can run an ad. I don't know how, though. My plan was to do that when I went and checked on the machine. I don't know if I care, I guess, is the answer. I don't think I'll actually ever run ads, so maybe I don't bother. But it says I can, and I want to know how. If you guys have any questions, now would be a good time before I figure out how to run the ad. What does that do? Oh, okay. I found the button. Oh, you guys can't see my screen anymore. Oh, come back. Come back. Where'd you go? Nope. Nope. I think this is the button. I'm going to press the button, and that's going to be the end of the stream. So you guys can leave after you see the ad. So bye, everybody. Is it working? I don't know. All right. I'm ending it. Bye.